Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome in. Good morning, Juanita. How are you? I'm going to say good morning from Juanita, Nonia, and Chatters. Carolyn, I love your comment. Thank you so much. Thankful Thursday. Yes, it is. And yes, it is tea time. I'm drinking hot water today, but it is tea time. And thank you. Yes, please do subscribe. Oh, okay, you're listening, but driving. Please be safe. Okay, be safe and no typing. But I know you won't. I know you won't. Good morning, Trap Star. Whew. I had to take a breather today, this morning. Got my neck all closed up. So I had to take a morning. I've been fielding questions or answering questions to people who kind of don't understand what's going on in the Amber storyline. They're confusing pieces, and when they're pleasant, I do respond. But if they're not, I ask them to not. Don't do that here, please. No negativity. That's not why we're here. These skits are about to become very negative, and that's the last thing that I'd like for us to have to face on any given day. I'm going to go ahead and read your comments, and I'll start. I've said good morning to Carolyn again, and Juanita, of course. Trapstar, good morning, everyone, she says. Hi, Abby. Welcome in. Welcome in. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Trapstar says, good morning, Nonya. Thank you, Trapstar. It's been a morning, believe it or not. I've been actually addressing comments from people who either don't really know the storyline or they're not understanding like why Amber's not being friends with Danielle. They think that Amber has asked Danielle for things. Amber has never asked Danielle to interfere, never. And the fact that Danielle never shares anything about her life is questionable as well. So anyway, back to the good mornings and salutations. Gigi, good morning. And I hope you guys can see me okay. And of course, my eyes have to water first thing in the morning. I apologize. It feels so rude. And Gigi, it is good to see you in today. And like I was telling one gentleman, it's fine to have a difference of opinion. There's no problem with that. It's the delivery. Okay. And then one person I told, this is not a station where you're gonna troll the people that are here, because I built these channels for us. And the reason that I built it is because there are many creators that we support, or most of us support, and all they do is run a video, it's pre-recorded, and you never hear back from them. And that troubled me because I waste my time and energy to, say something and never get a response back, which is why I set up this channel. That is exactly why. And that's why I love you all so much, because I know what it feels like to never get a response back or to be a moderator who's never appreciated. It's an unpaid job, but it keeps the channel going. Sometimes you'll get a small stipend, 2 or 3 times a year, but that's what it is. Okay. I mean, we do it because we want to do it, not because we have to do it, and not because we're paid to do it. But some content creators, others don't. But some content creators will say thank you, maybe with a $50 gift card, because believe me, you don't make money from YouTube doing this. You don't. That's why the super chats and all that is so important. And yeah, so I'll leave it there. And I'm going to continue saying good morning to you beautiful people. Let's see. Angela Atkinson says, good morning, buttercups and chatters. Good morning, Buttercup. Hi, Nisi Poo. How are you? And Angela's saying good morning to Gigi. Hi, Mary Clay. Welcome in. And again, of course, I'm short. I don't know. I should go in my office, or what's supposed to be my office, but I have a lot of boxes in there. So, Gigi is saying good morning. And Trapstar, good morning. Juanita, good morning. It's getting wild in these KW skits and reviews. And I call them Trapstar dirty, dirty streets. It's wild. And there's no control. And some creators are just letting the fans go rampant. And the negativity is definitely there. And that's why I wanted kind of a safe space, but it's still social media. So anything that we say here on social media, we can never bring back. And I do say things sometimes and I say, why did I say that? Oops. But, I just am, and I actually have a love for people. And I love helping people understand. And please help me understand. Because sometimes, I forget things. I don't know things. I lived a life, believe you me. But one person called me godly, and I actually am going to take that as a compliment because hopefully she meant it as a compliment. I'm not a Bible thumper. I am Team Amber. I'm Team Amber for various reasons, not just the character. I just sometimes question humanity. I'm no psychologist, nothing like that. But given that, good morning, Carla. Hey, Nonya and chat. I will be sipping tea. Carla, I'm glad. Carla, what kind of tea do you like? I'm curious because you are a tea drinker. You're a teetotaler, and I like that. I wish I liked tea more than coffee, but in the mornings I usually drink tea. This morning I'm drinking hot water because I was really dehydrated yesterday. And then good morning. Let's see. Juanita says, Donya, I am working and listening. Okay, Juanita. And please catch the replay if you can. I'm up to qualify one more time. We did find out what the problem was. So if you'll watch the replay, that would be great. I watch them. My family watches them. And again, this will be the fourth time. But they found an old error for an account that I didn't even know existed. And so the error message was still there. So it was kicking me out immediately. So just so you'll know what's going on, that's why I haven't been monetized. And once you get monetized, it's not that you might make a quarter off of a video. Seriously, I'm not kidding you. Or 3 cents off of a short. So it's not like we're making a lot of money. And that's where the super chats help and the commercials, things like that. But anyway, with that said, I'm going to continue. And Juanita's that most people are at work. Trapstar said, I see they are trying to influence your channel. Good job holding them off. I could see it last night. Nobody's going to influence me, Trapstar. That, I do know what you're talking about. I definitely do. But there was a conversation to be had. And I guess that was the best way to do it. I don't know. But the conversation was fine. And, we do what we got to do, I guess. But the conversation went fine. And I'll leave it at that for now, okay? And we can talk later. But, I'm not going to go into detail. I'm not going to, you know what I mean. But thank you. Yes. And Dolly says, good morning, Nonya sis, buttercups and chatters. Let's spill some tea. Dolly, that's what my sister says. She says, knock over that cup. And I said, no. Because she knows that in real life, I might just do that if they make me mad. But I said no. But she was joking. She was joking. And Abby, I'm glad you're here. Nonya Amber just checked bin and cleared it up. I just looked. It just dropped and cleared it up. That she helped Annie regain. Oh, she did regain his wealth. They see the mess in the comments. Wow. Thank you, Abby. I didn't see it, and believe me, I was like fielding trolls and telling them, you can come in here, but not with that, that negative energy. We're not having it. I mean, this is America. You have first speech rights. That's fine, but don't come in here and disrupt peaceful people. We can all agree to disagree. Let's just be polite about it. So simply, she told them, how long have we been shouting that? Tell them what you've done for this man. Tell them. Don't forget. Speak up. Come on, Am Bam. Good job. And I do know where the audience button is, by the way. It's just when you play it, it kind of makes your screen go askew, which is why I try not to. We have the audience, we have some ducks, and I learned that with the software a long time ago. But we've got ducks, we have a bong, we have a boo, that kind of thing. But that's why you don't hear me playing the audience applause that much. I will play it once in a while, but it does affect how I see the channel. You see it the same, but for me, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. It's like, but it's what we call in technology a bug. So I am so happy. I'm going to pin this comment. I think I got it. So I pinned your comment and I put it on the screen. Okay. Angela Atkinson says, good morning, RD and Carla. Good morning, RD. Simply says, good morning. Simply, it's about 6 p.m. your time in Ireland. Is that right? And then Gigi says, good morning, Trapstar and Mary C. Gigi, good morning. Dolly, this is a no bashing channel. And it is. I set it up for us. And whoever wants to come in and just, talk, no bashing. Why do that? Why get yourself all sick about things like this? And again, there are people who never respond to you. You can be the most loyal follower, moderator, whatever, and then when they don't care anymore, is it time to stay or is it time to move on? But I set this up deliberately the way I did it, and you all know that. So, yeah. Anyway, Antoinette, good morning. Antoinette says, good morning. Hope everything or everyone is having a good day. Well, I've been fielding fastballs and curveballs this morning, Antoinette, but I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you. And I think everyone else thanks you as well. But that's Simply's comment. If you guys take a look at it on the screen, then I will take it down. If you look at Abby's comment, it's on the screen. And she says that, and you probably saw the skit. I didn't have a chance to. Oh, I'm glad, Abby. It's so peaceful here always. I try. I do put out a fire if I see it coming our way. Yeah, we're not having it. Speak your opinion. It's okay. But it's not okay to attack moderators. It's not okay to attack other people who disagree with you. And that's just not fun. The skits are hard enough. They are hard enough. So we don't need the negativity that comes with it. Am I right? Am I missing something? Did I leave out something? If so, please type it in the chat so that I can remember the next time. And Angela said, do you guys think it is questionable why Ben pressed about Anthony's money? Why he is so mad? Amber wants Anthony's money. Maybe he thinks that they are going to steal it. And then maybe on the other hand, maybe he does feel like he is Anthony's friend, you know? Like I said, Benny and Annie got married. I'm just kidding. But maybe he thinks that he's trying, like literally or truly trying to help Anthony. I'm not sure of his end game yet. And I do know that Danielle speaks out of turn, which is why Amber stopped telling her anything. And we also know, and a lot of people are not aware, that Amber never asked Danielle for anything. She never asked her for help. The one thing Amber didn't tell her was about Wayne. And that is her skeleton to put in her skeleton closet to share when she was ready to share it. But guess who shared it? Ben. Mm-hmm. And Ben, the one who was married to Abigail, that left his wife for Abigail, him. Yeah. And then let's see. Yeah, Angela, that's what I think it is. It's either he is Annie's friend or he wants to know, or he could be like Darren and he does show gray tones, I'll put it politely, because he did tell Anthony once that it was in Anthony's head that it was harder for Anthony to make it big as a businessman, and it wasn't because Anthony was of color. And we all know that that's not true. But Ben did say that to Anthony. And then the next day he apologized because Ben realized what he said was foolishness. So we have that to deal with Ben as well. And Angela Atkinson says simply, yes, it is other channels' comments, like some want to take your head off. And these are skits. So can you imagine them in real life? So that's why I say keep your head on a swivel, stay guarded, stay prayed up. I mean, I'm not some pastor's wife or something like that. I'm a normal woman. But I do believe that do right by others. Do what the Bible, wants you to do. But who are we? Are we really people who can't cast stones cast a stone at myself before I cast it at another person? Because I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. We all are. So before we cast that stone, and even though these are skits, say what you want, but for me in real life, I do try to live it as humbly and as spiritually as I can. Do I get thrown off? Absolutely. Do I talk to God around the house? Absolutely. Do I want God mad at me? No, I don't, because I am a strong believer, but I'm not a Bible thumper. And I will never, ever be judgmental of anyone. Now, in the skits, of course, I'm going to say stuff. There's skits, but let's just, for me, it's a matter of staying focused. And if there's negativity coming at you from every angle, how do you stay positive? And that's why this channel is here. This is my channel. I built it for you, and therefore it is your channel as well. Okay, so please keep that in mind. I did it for you, and I meant that when I said it, as well as the wind down at night, so we can go in and we can just breathe. We can talk skits, we can whatever. Once I get monetized, I may start putting video back in, but right now I don't want any video because I want to have the cleanest channel. So YouTube can't say you don't have this and that. I've got everything that it takes, except there was an existing error on my account. And I just found that out a couple of days ago after all this time. My channel's been up and ready, but I have had time to tweak it. So anyway, back to our good mornings. Simply, yes, the other channels, yeah, they want to take your head off. And then I had a couple of people that came in here this morning, thought they were going to take, no, You're not going to take my head off, nor are you going to bring your negative energy. So if you have a good thought, share it. It's fine. It's fine to share your thoughts, but don't troll. I don't do trolling. And when I was a moderator on O'Neill TV, I didn't like trollers because that negative energy, it just feeds onto other people. And other people, kind of not knowing or really feeling that that's what it was doing, they were picking it up. And I'm no longer a moderator. I'm running my channel. And that negativity, I'm sorry, like we used to pop our collar back in the day, keep it off me. I don't need it. I have enough going on in life, as do you. Okay? So we don't need these skits to bring us down. Let's see. Good morning, Deraine. How are you? And thank you, Antoinette. Magnolia, good morning. Skit Cousins. Gwen says, please like, share, and subscribe to NonyasisChat. It is free. And you can turn the notifications to whatever settings you want. There's no limit. You don't even have to get notifications. You see me on here, I'm doing a live because I've got to get my hours back. Actually, I already got back like 900, and that's just in Saturday. So I do I watch my replays. I'll turn them on and, go do laundry or something. But I just run it and just don't put it on. If you put it on mute, the system thinks you're a bot. And you don't want them to think you're a bot because they'll tag you. I'm sorry. They'll tag you as a bot. And we don't want that to happen to you because then your comments, they kind of fall to the wayside. Okay. And hi, Magnolia. Hello. And Simply says, is it Angel? Oh, Annie and Ben they have way too much smoke for Amber. Always. Oh, always. But people treat Amber like that because Annie taught them that it's okay to do so. And do you know, in real life, there are men who will do that. They won't protect you. They have their reasons. A lot of times it's jealousy. I mean, to have a husband that's jealous of you, that's got to be hard. I mean, it's hard enough for women or relatives or whoever, but your own husband, we don't know what Anthony's problem is. We really don't. We say, oh, he's a narcissist. But maybe he really does have a problem of some other nature. Maybe it's because he's one of the guys that Amber wouldn't have chosen in high school. I mean, some people carry that because when we look at Anthony, he still acts like he's in college. It's like people get stuck in time. I had a brother who got stuck in time. He couldn't separate the Los Angeles days from the new era. He eventually got it, but it took him a couple of years to come out of the LA phase. It really did. But that was my big brother, and I love him dearly. Okay, and then let's see. Artie says, Abby, I just watched it and glad that she let Ken know because Annie acts like she did not. And I've been shouting that from the rooftops, say something, say something, say something. And, sometimes Aunt Bam is slow, yeah, she gets slow. They make sure she gets slow, right? So I've got to see that. I want to see that. And again, I would load it. But right now, until I go viral, until I get monetized, I'm not touching video. Later, I will. I'll go back to showing parts of video. I won't have a problem with that. But right now, I just want to clear the bar. I have every metric. Our channel is strong. It's stable. I think YouTube understands it now because nobody has a tea time. Nobody has a wind down. Nobody puts it in with Kountry Wayne skits because we can talk skits or we can talk menopause. It doesn't matter. Whatever we talk about, we talk about. Just remember, it goes out on social media and you can never, ever get it back. So, I say things sometimes and I go, oh my God, why did I say that? But you know me, it's like I'm controlled, but sometimes I just speak my truth, I just do. And Magnolia says, please hit the like button. Doreen says, Angela, because Ben is so mad because Amber wants that money, because Ben is hiding that money. If he hasn't given it to Darren, then Ben still has it. Anthony has no idea where his money is at this point, unless he's tracking it on his phone. Maybe that's what he's doing, right? And Ben is hiding that money, and once the judge finds out, and they do have real people. Those jobs are about 200 to and up K per year, and they're forensics. They're white collar forensics analysts, and their job is to track money. The next thing I want, and I am asking for, of Wayne and Amber, because I love Amber. I love the real Amber. I don't know her, but from what I've seen, she is a person I would like. And the fact that she had the blueprints from Brittany, Anthony hasn't purchased anything. So where's his money? And that is what a judge will ask you. What did you purchase, Mr. Dalton? So Amber, you've got the blueprints that Brittany gave you. We did not forget. Give them to your attorney. Please. I don't want to see this woman lose again and again and again when she's the only person with a decent heart, at least. She did one horrible thing. Well, she did a lot of horrible things, but one bad things, but one horrible thing. And the Lord does not make us suffer forever. He doesn't. He's graceful. He's forgiving. He knows that we're human. He knows that we will go into our flesh. He knows that we will forget. He's not an unforgiving God. And I think that people forget that about our Lord. And I mean ours. I don't mean SKIT God. Okay. Anyway, and then, I read yours, Doreen, and Ben is hiding it because Amber actually can get half. But remember, half in an equitable state, it's a negotiating tactic. It's a starting point. And if they don't bring it to a resolution, the judge will ask for mediation. The only reason I know it is because I've lived it. And the judge asked me, why didn't I want alimony? And I said, because I have a good job, I don't need his money. But they gave me alimony anyway, and that was fine. I put it away, but it wasn't like a whole lot because I didn't marry the man for his money. When he got drafted, he didn't have any money, but that was okay with me. It was all right. Dolly says, good morning and good afternoon. Nonya says, buttercups and chatters. Good afternoon, Dolly. Let's buckle up and spill some tea. And Magnolia says, hey, Angela. And Gwen says, Angela, good morning. Sometimes if you see me staring at the screen like this, it's because I can't see it. But sometimes I'm reading it and I'm going, what is this person saying? Because I do look, I do check. Because they'll slip things in on you in a heartbeat. Okay, and Gigi says, Nonya, you're right. That's why I enjoyed being over here with you. Some creators can be insensitive, especially to Christian people. Thank you for creating a space. And, people may not like what I say sometimes, but I may not like what other people say too. But we have our own opinions. But when it comes to just bashing other people, like we used to bash Shayla, but that, and I bashed you because I don't want anybody coming tearing up my marriage. So of course I'm going to be angry. Of course. We don't want that to happen. And for people who haven't been married, believe you me, there are people that do not want to see you happy. I don't know how many of you know my ex-brother-in-law tried to kiss me once, and my husband took care of that. Yeah, people do strange things for strange reasons. They even do things for no reason, just to make mess. You never know why people do what they do. So keep your head on a swivel, watch your back, because betrayal is real. And then Gigi says, good morning, Magnolia. Good morning, Gwen. Hey, Gigi. Magnolia speaking back to you. And Doreen, I just believe something is suspicious. It is Anthony. Now, he must be doing something with that money that he doesn't want to come to light. That very well could be. And remember, it was supposed to be only him and Ben with access. You remember that talk in the backyard? And then all of a sudden, here comes Darren, the investor. So where's Darren at? We haven't seen him in quite a while. And then Donna says, hey, Nonya and family, and she's waving. Simply says, Artie Walk. It's because of Annie's silly, lame clock it. Clock it. And that, I like that. I have never used clock it before, but I like it. Amber says, clock that. And she's not telling the story. Like it or not, the cheating and all that, right now we're in the middle of a raggedy, nasty divorce. And the things he's saying to her, he wants Denisha to come over to see his marvelous house so he can get another trophy wife. Is Denisha the type? Right now, no, she's not. Will they change her character? Quite possibly. Dolly, good morning. Auntie, please hit the like and subscribe button, and it is appreciated. It is. I've got 1,500 followers or subscribers, and I'm very happy of that. A lot of them, no, not a lot, but a few are anti-Amber. But it's interesting that a lot of them just don't know the storyline. So they're guessing. You know how people say, I just ran to the comments and read the comments. They don't even watch the skit. They just go to the comments and pick up whatever the trending vibe is, whatever the energy is. They pick that up and they run with it. It's true. Been on here long enough to know it's true. Okay, Gigi says, I am a Christian woman playing it simple. And we have to play it simple, Gigi. That's the thing. We have to, because these are skits, even though it happens in real life, we do have to play it simple so it doesn't get into our spirit and make us angry and judgmental and all of these other things. So that's why it's like, just keep it calm. Remember, it's a skit. Let's not get ourselves all up in, knots about it and get sick like me getting high blood pressure last year, because I did. I need a bobby pin. I should have got one before I came in. Huh? And Gigi says, I don't answer to those name callings because people can throw names, especially at the Amber character. Christian doesn't mean perfect. You are so right, Gigi. It doesn't. It doesn't mean perfect. And why do they want this same woman, who actually is the only one that has a really good heart other than Erica, I think, and Tamara, maybe, stop letting Shayla rub off on her. Sometimes it feels like having a good heart is an invitation, like I have mark on my forehead. And that's a fact. When people see a kind person, they tend to think you're a mark. I'm nobody's mark, but you won't know it when you meet me until you know me. and then you come for me like I'm a mark, then we're going to have problems. But as far as messing with people, nope, I don't do it. I don't want anybody doing it to me. Don't judge. Who are we to judge anybody, right? Who are we? Who are we to judge? We are all human. We all fall short of the glory of God. Okay, and then let's see. Simply saying good morning to her triplet. Angela Atkinson says, but Amber was not poor. Yes, we know, Angela, and that's what I'm saying. We know she wasn't poor. So when they say things like this, you already know the truth. You already know. So hold on to what you know. That's all I'm saying. You know she wasn't poor. Anthony said that to hurt her. And that is what a scorned husband will do, or a scorned woman. They will say things like this. Amber was not poor because she had her own house and her own money. And remember, Amber only wanted a house with a white picket fence. You guys remember that? She just told him the other day. She wanted a child and a white picket fence. That's all she ever asked for. I'm sorry. Cars going by my house make my blink thing go off. It's like, oh, let me turn it over. And then Magnolia says, how are you, triplet? Hope your day has been a blessed one. And then Gwen says, hi, Gigi, Magnolia, Abby, Dolly, Durain, Artie, Trapstar, Antoinette, Juanita, and Carla. Thank you, Gwen, for that. We appreciate you. And I don't see Miss Fatale, but I'm going to ask her when she comes in if, as a moderator, she'll go ahead and just pin up a short Bible verse. I was going to do the Serenity Prayer. I like the Serenity Prayer because it is one for self-empowerment, but spiritually guided as well. But I didn't have time because I had people on the channels in the comments. And that is something we're going to talk about, which is moderating shortly, okay, once we get started. And but I was out there fielding comments. Because you think they're coming for this channel. No, they're not. They're not going to upset us. And luckily, I feel good they didn't upset me. I just read the comment and I realized that person has no idea what's going on. Then I had a troll from a channel we all know. And I said, unless you have something that actually makes sense, please don't troll this channel. And I meant that. But I know that person knows that I meant that too, because I was a moderator before that person even got there. Don't come for me. And don't come for my people. I saw somebody, Tina was in the comments. Even though Tina doesn't come to the chats, Tina is always commenting, always. So she keeps the comments going. And that's something that moderators do as well. She's always posting things in the comments. But she's a moderator for O'Neill TV. She's a moderator for Sharon. She looks at my comments, and there was some guy going at her. And so I checked him, and he stopped. Leave her alone. She's not bothering anybody. She's making a post that he just happened not to like. Anyway, Carla says, I believe why Ken is going so hard about Annie's money is because he and Darren probably got in trouble and caught a case. Maybe. And then also bought Lisa that car. Let's see if I have a bobby pin over here, guys. Maybe. Maybe not. Probably not. Okay. And then Gwen says hello. Good morning, good afternoon, Precious, at Gwen. Thank you, Gwen, for everything you do. And Magnolia says, missed you. I was up for a part of the live last night. Yeah. I mean, most people, you guys are on the East Coast. You fall asleep. That's notable. But 7 is the best I can do because I do have to get, answer comments. I get tired. Sometimes I'll fall asleep, take a nap. I have to prepare dinner for my husband, or he'll bring dinner home or something. because he's being very gracious and giving me time to bring up my channel. The man has been overly nice about it because he knows that I miss being a programmer. He knows it. And so that is what I do. I don't shop anymore and spend a ton of money on clothes I don't need and the regular nonsense. But I think at a certain age, most of us kind of mellow out. And then let's see. Angela, Magnolia, would you watch the replay for me, please? I'm getting my hours back up. This is a new cycle. And of course, I got dinged, but I got dinged for an error that was like months ago, but nobody ever removed the error. So I hit the mark twice already, but nobody ever cleared the error. So my application just got rejected instantly. That's what happened. But this one person I spoke to, he didn't say, yes, I took it off, but it sounded like it. And I do have a transcript of the conversation. So I should be okay because my channel's been ready for a long time. Anyway, let's see. Oh, Sharon joined last night. So One Journey came in, Magnolia, and then Sharon came in. And then we chatted about moderators after the show was over. So I want to share that with the moderators after, if you can hang out after, I shut down the show. I'm not going to end the stream, but I do want to speak to you. And it's not long. And I'll tell you about that. Okay, Angela Atkinson. And Angela, you as well, if you don't mind, my dear. Are you at work, Angela? Carla, something's not right. He's going too hard for money that doesn't belong to him. He gave Abigail all of his money. Yes, he did. And if he has access to Anthony's money, believe me, a desperate man, he's going to go into Anthony's pockets. Because Ben knows where the money is. And I don't think he turned it all over to Darren. Let's see. But hating on Amber. That's what a guy said this morning. And that was before the skit. And I explained to him. And then one guy asked me about, he said, I saw where you said she helped save the house and keep him from bankruptcy. And then he asked me, well, who is Phil? And what do you mean Anthony was investing in stocks? I thought he was into real estate. So that goes to show you that a lot of people just don't know the storyline. But I will point you in the right direction and time frame. But we're not going to have skit study. We're not. I'll tell you what you can look for, and then it's up to you. That's why the skits are out there. So, and he said, okay, Let's see, Triplet, looks like the chat was active, but I'm glad. Oh, we're good over here. Yeah, it's always active. Yeah. And I know I was a great moderator over there. And I didn't try to be tough, but that nonsense, a person's channel can get hurt by just the fans saying things, horrible things to other people. And part of a moderator's job is to protect the channel. It's not protecting me. I mean, I can start another channel, but it is to protect the channel. That's how I look at it. And I never wanted anything to happen like with O'Neill or anything. It's like, calm down, people, or whatever, because I was a good moderator. I was good. And let's see. Trapstar says, hey, Magnolia, they tried to hijack us, but Nonya held it down. Oh, thank you, Trapstar. We were here and always have her back. Yes, you do. You do. We don't want to have negative energy over here. And Trapstar, it was a little different than what you think. And I was actually very surprised. Very surprised, honestly. I don't drink. Oh, I don't drink tea. What do you drink? Oh, I like that, Carla. Carla says, I don't drink tea. I'm sipping the tea from your content. Carla, that's so sweet. I really thought you were a teetotaler. I did. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, Carla. Hi, Nature. Good morning. Good morning, Nonya and everyone. Happy Thursday. We are consistently pouring tea and sipping with confidence. Well, I need you all to help me boost my confidence because there are things I don't know or I forgot. And it's like, okay, who knows? Somebody knows. One of these people know. And believe me, I pay attention. I pay attention to what you say. I pay attention to who does what. I pay attention when somebody goes and gets a video name. I pay attention and I remember. And I love that we can agree to disagree. I mean, I'm going to give my opinion, give your opinion. We can always meet in the middle because chances are we're on the same page. We have different ways of getting there. We may have different outcomes, and that's okay because none of us are clairvoyant, right? So all we can do is wait for the results to come out. And it's not a blame game. It's not a, I was right, you were. We don't do all that. This is about enjoying skits that are quite unenjoyable for the most part. Things we don't like throughout the entire world of KW, right? I mean, hardly any of them. They do have messages and silver linings. I'm sorry. I do need a bobby pin. There are messages sometimes, quite often, lessons to be learned. I think the biggest part is that we hardly ever see any resolution. And I think that maybe that's something that could be addressed by the writers, at a later date. But then maybe it was designed this way on purpose for our imaginations to just run wild. And then Angela says, good morning, nature. And Gwen says, Angela A., you noticed that too, that Ben is always protecting Anthony and his money. You're always going to guard, what do they call it? Your first in line person, your head honcho, your money maker, whoever it is. People are always going to guard you because they have a reason. And most of it is not out of love for you. Just think about work. Is it out of love for you or is it out of what they can get from you? Right? Okay, Angela A. Gigi says, Angela A., you're absolutely right again, but I thought it was so funny when Anthony went to Wayne's house looking for Amber. That was hilarious. Why are you going to this man's house? This man has no loyalty to anybody. And quiet is kept, Anthony and Wayne are so much alike. So much. And that's why they've always been competitive. Magnolia says on Facebook, even men are noticing the Ben and Antonia dynamic. Are they headed toward LGBT relationship? I had the same thought. I didn't mention it, but they could be because that same energy is there on both sides of the equation. And Angela Atkinson says negativity needs to stay on the outside. We don't need negativity in here. No, we don't. And again, I don't mind answering questions, but we're not going to sit here and go back and forth. I don't have the time, the energy, nor the patience, right? I mean, if you want to have a decent conversation, that's one thing. But if you want to sit and argue with me, do you think I'm going to sit and argue with people? No. And the thing is, I have a really kind heart. And that's what people confuse as weakness. Sometimes those are the people you need to watch out for. Because when we get our hearts hurt, we strike back. And, vengeance is not mine. And it's not like I'm trying to take vengeance. It's like I'm trying to protect myself as best I can as a person. Not take vengeance and be revengeful. No. But as a person in my flesh, I am going to protect myself as best I can. And when I can't do it, guess who can? Good morning, George. Hi, how are you? Good morning, artists, wherever you are, my dear. George, it's good to see you in. And Hemi Girl, hi. Hey, good morning. Good afternoon, Nonyasis and chat. Hi, Hemi. And let's see. Gigi, Angela says yes, Gigi. Good morning, Angela. And that was from Nature. It's crazy that Wayne is envious of his actors getting their shine. What he's done to Anthony and Amber is ridiculous. Let those people get their due and stop making a mockery of them and marriages. And we don't know why he's doing it, right, Trapstar? It's like every day I have a different thought. It's like I can't have this many thoughts about these storylines, you know? So, yeah, I agree with you. I agree, Trapstar. I don't know. And then Gwen says, good morning, Hemi girl. Dolly says, I agree with you, Sister Nonya. Let the cup fall over and just let the tea spill out. Gigi says, Amber told Ken, and that's Kenny Ben, that she helped Anthony build up their wealth. Did it go over his head? I was hoping he got it. He didn't get it, or did he just not believe it, Gigi? And there are just some people who don't think women contribute anything. I don't know why. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I don't know. Patriarchy, who knows? But in the end, we know who wins. We know who wins. Good morning, good afternoon, Gigi, Nature, Gwen Eves. Hi, Gwen. From Nature, Trapstar says, Amber and Anthony got too big with the fans. I thought about it last night. There may have also been some animosity amongst some of the other actors. There was as well because of it. I'm sure there was. We do know of a few stories, but yeah, I think so too. But Anthony and Amber Amber said they're very good friends in real life, and the wife and they are very good friends, and he's very funny and they get along. And how many people with these kinds of personalities actually get along? We don't know, but Trapstar, you're onto something. You are definitely onto something. And Magnolia says, I did see the guest last night and fell asleep. I'll have to watch that replay. It wasn't, thank you, my love, Trapstar. Trapstar, it was better than, it was a surprise. And it was a surprise. I mean, it wasn't actually a bad surprise. It was a surprise. Okay. And Gwen says, please like, share, and subscribe. Please do. And please review a video, at least this one, when you get off or something. That would be great. That would be great. And they are always 5 days behind. How are you 5 days behind the end of the revenue cycle? Gwen and I know better than that. At the end of the revenue cycle, you're supposed to be wrapped up. Don't have a lot to carry over. 5 days is a long time to have lingering numbers out there. And then Angela Atkinson says, true Trapstar. He does not like that they can carry the storyline without him. And they can. They've been pulling it off forever. Hemi Girl says, checking in from Virginia 757. Are you on a plane, or is that your zip code or area code? Is that your area code, Hemi girl? Okay. Okay. You can let us know if you want to, okay, Amy? Doreen says Amber had the upper hand with Anthony when she caught him and Shayla together, but she took him back. She could have taken everything from Anthony, but now she has to fight for 50%. And people say, oh, she never loved him. But she did. She learned to love Anthony. I mean, and that happens. Sometimes we'll marry somebody and we won't be in love with them. We'll have love for them. I think her and Wayne were in love, but they weren't. That never would have worked. And those sometimes are the people that get away. And it's life. Life be lifing, okay? And sometimes we settle. And then settling, I don't know, it works for some people. It wouldn't work for me. I'm not the settling type. I'd rather be single. I'd rather be alone and with my kids and my other family before I settle. Hi, George. Welcome in. What is up with Anthony's hidden assets? We were just talking about that because Amber has that in her laptop. And KW, we did not forget. We did not forget Amber. Amber Ty, we know what Brittany gave you. We have not forgotten. So George, yes, he seems to be worried as if he doesn't have them hidden. Now, when we were watching that backyard conversation, George, and he said only he and Anthony had the codes to know where the money was, maybe that's why Anthony's always on the phone. Maybe he's checking his accounts. He's not spending any money. So I wonder if he even knows where his money is. Right, George? I mean, but as far as the hidden assets, Amber knows about the majority of what he has other than the theater money because she did get a blueprint. I mean, granted, it's a couple of years old now, but Brittany definitely gave her the blueprint. Remember, Anthony had $400 and some odd million in a 403B retirement account. And Brittany's telling Amber all this money that Anthony has, and he had it hidden then, George. So what's he hidden since then with Ben, in addition to the $2 million? We know Drunk Piari doesn't have it. If she did, they would have showed us a skit. They always show us one skit of something, and it's up to us to remember it and not try to find things to stick in there like they're real. They show us one or two skits, and we're supposed to remember, what's going on. So if you try to play this game as a reviewer based on the skit you just saw, you will be lost in the storyline. Most of the creators, they're very good. The reviewers, they know the storyline. They've been watching for a very long time. And Dolly says, good morning, good afternoon, Trap Star. Angela Atkinson says, it seems like Amber been sleeping home from the other day. Maybe he's not bothering her because he sees that he's not getting to her now. And there are people who do that. As long as they can needle you and get you upset, they are happy. And once you no longer are fazed by them, they don't know what to do. You see that dumb look Anthony had this morning because his tricks are no longer working? That's a real thing. That's not just acting. That's real. Yeah, I can attest to that one. It's like, oh, leave me alone. And when you finally get to that point, it kind of means you're pretty much over it. when you can just say, just go. I don't care, you know. And sometimes it takes that. You do what you have to do to protect yourself. And picking up that Bible is one way as well. Okay. But sometimes we're on the fly, we get into something. As people, we don't remember probably in that particular moment, but when it's over, go and find peace in the Bible. And I really do mean that. It's not like I have a Bible in my hand all day long. I have this human, regular, everyday life. But when I need that grounding and I need that spiritual feeding, I will go and get my Bible. I have to get the big one so I can see the letters, but I get my big Bible and I do read KJV. And let's see. Anthony never acknowledges what she did to hold him down when he lost it all. Exactly, Hemi girl. And you'd be amazed at how many people don't even know that happened. They're either like late, coming into the skits, so they only hear what they hear out in the ozone, which is a bunch of negativity for one. And then we have people who like to say, well, there was an emotional tie with Victor. Was it intimate? And then the other question is, who committed the adultery? How many books are in the Bible about adultery? I don't know. Gigi, you might know. I think they're like 12 or 13 different books that reference if the husband commits adultery, the wife can get the divorce. There's the wife, it only talks about if they fornicate, blah, 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 blah. But as far as adultery, it's the husband. And I think it's because the husband is supposed to be leading the family. And when he steps out, he moves out of the way, and the wife does have to step up. So you've got the supreme entity, and then you've got the wife, because where's the husband? Out doing who knows what, right? And if I'm wrong, please let me know, but that's what I was taught. That's what I know. And if it's wrong or challengeable, let me know. That's fine. Durain and Brittany told Amber not to take him back because all he wanted to do is hide his money. And that's exactly what he did. And now look. And Durain, when we are in love with somebody, we don't want to believe the worst. So when Brittany was telling her and Amber was in denial, it didn't surprise me because we don't want to believe the worst of our partner. We just don't. We don't want to believe that this person that's telling me all of this negativity, all these negative things, that they really know. But Brittany did know. Ernestine knows because dirt knows dirt. But yeah, but that's why. I mean, people tell me things. It used to be a time where I'd be like, okay, but I never let them know I didn't believe them, but I did open my eyes and watch. Because I learned a long time ago, keep my mouth shut. Because too much will come out. Yeah, as you guys probably already know. These are great comments. They're great comments. Let's see. Magnolia, really, Hemi? I have in the 757 too. Okay. And Gigi says, good morning, Dorian. You're right. And Amber reminded Anthony, if she wanted his money, she could have taken it and walked away. She's right. She could have took his money a long time ago. She wanted him. She loved him, I guess. Why stay? I mean, she loves that house, but Amber could have walked away from that house. She even admitted, she said, I can't afford to keep this house. Remember when she was there alone? And she finally admitted, I forget who she was talking to. Probably Ernestine. Ernestine or Brittany, one of them. But she said that was around the time that Gardner came, and Amber realized she couldn't afford to maintain that house. So, Wayne, here's the tea. Give your audience what they want and sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. You can always throw negativity in there, but let's wrap up some storylines and let's use some positive energy sometimes, because Black people are not your only fan base. As a matter of fact, I don't think we are the main fan base, and I have said that before, because Black people don't do these things. I mean, some of us do, of course. Some people do all this stuff, but it's making it look like we all do this, and we don't, you know? But as a reviewer, I'm going to report on the skits, no matter what they say. Not going to try to whitewash it. I might be Team Amber, but I will call Amber on her dirt in a minute. I will not whitewash Anthony, and I will not whitewash Shayla. I will not whitewash Angelina. And whoever else is doing mischievous stuff. Okay. And then let's see. Ben has spent Anthony's money. Trapstar, that's a possibility. I mean, how are you not able to afford therapy with your wife? I mean, I know they're not rich anymore. Danielle had to go out and buy a new home because Ben took the money and left her for Abigail. So she worked her fingers off, bought a new home, and now Ben's over there acting a fool again. But Danielle doesn't share that. But she wants to share all of Amber's information with Michelle, the lake house lady. Misery loves company. Let's see. On Nature says, yes, we are here to have some fun, relax, and just share a common love for the skits and life. We need a place to be cozy and enjoy each other's company. And that's how I feel. It's like I used to feel that way before, and then it just started like turning. And I thought it was going to course correct. It didn't. It got worse. George, I have a theory, Angela says. Ben is always attacking Amber. Something is not right. I think he doesn't want, a lot of times, and George, this is probably not you, and I see Artist is in here today. I hope I didn't bore her yesterday. She seemed like a nice lady from what I could tell. But, so George, I have a question for you. You probably don't know this because I don't think this is you. But and I'm going to say men this time, do men typically prefer to keep women separate if they're doing dirt? If they're doing dirt on one or the other or both wives, do men typically have a bro code that says, I mean, they do in a skit, but is there a real bro code that says you still support the guy who's doing the dirt? Is that a thing? I mean, really, is that a thing? I mean, women do it. I never did it because if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, I don't want to know about it. It ain't my business. Do you, boo? It's none of my business. I don't even want to know. I know. I leave. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want, miss me with it. You do you. Do you, boo? Let's see. Wayne told Antonia Ben was a snake. Wayne spotted it instantly. I wonder why. Ben, you can see through him though, and it's not that Wayne is a snake, I don't think, but he felt it. You can feel ugly spirits. You really can, especially jealous spirits, coveting spirits, money grubbing spirits. If you pay attention to people long enough, you'll pick up on it. especially the jealousy. Jealousy stands out like a green thumb because it's like you can feel it. Like they want something from you. Jealousy is an awful, awful spirit, and hate. Simply says, George, Ben and Annie are I call them Benny and Annie. Ben and Annie are definitely worried and should be, because always has a trace for them to be hidden. They had to be moved, and that's a discrepancy. And Dolly says, good morning, Antoinette. Durain says, he gave Anthony's money to Abigail. That sounds good, Durain, even though we know he's got millions and millions. But did he give some to Abigail? I like that. Durain. Maybe he did. Now he's got to find a way to put it back or not let Anthony find out. Yeah, Annie, he's probably spending your money. Oh, I like that. Yes, he gave Anthony's money to Abigail. You're laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm serious. I think you might be onto something. I mean, of course, we're guessing, but that's a very, very good conclusion to come to. Let's see. Angela says, but Ben never have a problem giving Abigail his money, but attacking Amber for wanting Anthony's money. Yeah, because people who are dirty tend to think other people are dirty like they are, especially when they have personalities like Ben's, Annie's. They tend to want to think other people are just like them. They do. And then Nature says, Ben and Aunt have known each other since college. Have either of them even grown up yet, Nature? I know we know Anthony hasn't. But what about Ben? Ben seems naive, and he hides things. He's kind of a weasel to me, kind of a weasel. Ben just tries to protect men, which I think is due to his own loss of his income in marriage to Abigail. So afraid Amber will do the same. You mean Amber take Anthony's money? And it's like, and the sad part is that Anthony makes them think this, and she's the one person who didn't even try to take his money. Does he not see that? Does Anthony not see that? He must not. Or unless he just doesn't want to give her credit for it. And then Janet. Good morning, Janet. Janet says, good morning, Nonya and Buttercup and the chatters. Gigi. Angela Atkinson. Ken is just like a lot of people who listens to what Anthony says about Amber and disrespects her. And that is where a lot of these fans get this from, because they prefer to believe the ugly, the worst about a woman or just another character, even if it's a man. They believe the worst. Hi, Hemi girl. I'm Magnolia. What? That's what's up. Oh my gosh. I'm not from here originally, but I call it home. Oh, okay. So 757 for 8 years. Wow, Virginia's a small place, isn't it? That's interesting. Nature says, it is why I say Ben has to just hush. Yeah, every time he opens his mouth, something comes out. Something from behind his own door, right? She says, because he needs to sweep his own porch. Ant is a grown man and don't need anyone to fight his battles. He should tell Anthony to learn from his own experiences. And we know Anthony never sweeps behind his own door. He's out there chasing Denisha. I call her Denisha Barracuda because Denisha is not the one to play with. And when Anthony tells Denisha he's manifesting their future. Okay, let's bring on affair number 2. Bring it on, Ann. Come on, Annie. Come on. You and Denisha get busy. Come on over. Bring her with you. Now, this is a man that's in the middle, right smack in the middle of getting a divorce, saying he's not going to give his wife a divorce. Yet you want to bring another woman in that house. That's why he wants Amber out of it, so he can show his house off. Like his house is just everything, and his money. Those are the things he worships. Amber loved that house, but I don't think she loves it now. And Magnolia says when Annie tells Denisha he's manifesting the future. Yeah. And then Carla, Trapstar, I believe Ben has invested Anthony's money and lost it. Oh, Carla, that's a great idea. That's a great point. That would be him and Darren, right? Because Darren's the financial advisor, if I'm not mistaken. That's why he wants Danielle to go to work. Plus, he gave Abigail $100,000. Then he invested in her hair supply. And if she was such a good businesswoman, why does she need more money for her hair supply? I mean, you do get down, I know. And running beauty supplies, my girlfriend told me, is a very difficult business because you've always got to replenish things. And then you've got competitions from other nationalities who are in that same business. So maybe she just has hair and not beauty supply and all that stuff. Gigi says, Angela, Benny is a hypocrite, just like his friend Anthony, throws money at the outside women, but really don't have respect for their wives. And that goes back to what kind of men are these, right? And if you don't have a husband that believes like this, be thankful. Be thankful. A new skit. What's going on, Magnolia? All I'm saying, Angela Atkinson says, all I'm saying, something's not right with Ben and Danielle. There's something wrong. And she told Amber, wasn't like that. I think Ben stealing money, Anthony, and it will come to light. I think so. I think so. I don't think he's investing all of it. I think he has stolen some of it. Dolly says, Nonya, where is this coming from about Amber asking Danielle for any in the comments? You haven't seen it? I get around more than you guys think I do. I just move quietly. Oh, yeah. They're in the Kountry Wayne comments. They're in other reviewers' comments. Yeah, exactly. That Amber is not, they're saying Amber's not a friend to Danielle. Because remember, Amber didn't want to talk to Danielle. That's when it started. And it says, so Amber asking Danielle for anything because Danielle befriended Amber and is trying to attach herself to Amber. And that's where these kinds of rumors come from, because Amber never asked Danielle to do any of what Danielle did, not attack Shayla, not attack Anthony. Even at the end, she was trying to kind of like, Danielle, come on now, you know. She didn't ask Amber to tell her about the money. Danielle offered everything she ever did for Amber because she wanted Amber to be her friend. Amber did talk to her about all kinds of things, but Amber never told her about Wayne. That is her secret. It's in her closet, and it's not Danielle's business. Now, Ben, because he got it from Annie, has told Danielle that part. Now, Danielle wants to know, basically, why didn't Amber tell her? Why should she tell her? That's Amber's business. That's not your business. And that wasn't Anthony's business to tell Ben. But that's where it's coming from. True, Gigi. And then Abby says, nature Ben is silly because that by logic, he should hate Abigail. I think he's in love with Abigail. He has steadily He's steadily helping her, talking highly of her, but he hates Amber, projecting his true feelings about Abigail on to Amber. And you may very well have a very good point. But you know, the one thing about Abigail, and I might be reading her wrong, but every time we see Abigail, she's trying to convince the other girls, the other women, not to do what they're doing. And she looks kind of remorseful, maybe. So, does she feel bad about something? Does she want Ben back? I mean, what's the deal with Abigail when you put that layer in there? Because she's always telling them, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. So, what's the deal with Abigail? Is my question, right? And at the restaurant, I might be wrong, Abby, but at the opening, was Abigail not smiling at Ben? Am I wrong? Because I thought she was looking over, smiling at him or whatever. But I could be mistaken. But no, I understand that. I wonder if he looks at Danielle like he made a mistake coming home. I wonder about that. And he did make the comment, Benny said, Abigail makes him get out of bed. You know, he gets out of bed and he feels useful. He gets things done. He gets going. And Danielle just goes to yoga. And I think, was he talking to Anthony when he said that? That Abigail made him feel empowered, basically. So I'm not defending Abigail, but these are just conversations that happened in the skits. And that she made him feel like he was actually accomplishing something. And I wonder also, is Ben missing that? And then Amber being a gold digger, he got that from Anthony. So Scammer is going to trust his college friend. These people haven't seen each other in how many years? College has been over. These people are 45 years old and they're still talking about college. I don't even know who my college friends were for the most part. Matt and Magnolia says, yes, Hemi girl, some military, and I have ancestry roots there as well. Mm-hmm. New skit alert. And again, I will start showing some video when I get monetized. And then that way I won't be so worried about getting over the hurdle because everything else is cleared except that one thing. But God is good. Simply, that is what I say. He hates Amber, but if he got a chance to get back with Abigail, he would take it. And let's see, Nature says simply, right, Abby. Right. Yeah, right, Abby. And Ben should think about how he is communicating this and reflect on his own actions. Guilty people, I think, don't want to look at themselves like the man in the mirror. And maybe that could be part of Ben's problem. I don't know. It's like he laid on the couch. He could have told his wife, look, I don't want to go to church. And he's laying on the couch watching TV when she comes back. Why can't he be honest with his own wife? Just tell her, I didn't feel like coming. Why you gotta lie to kick it? You gotta lie to kick it? Come on. He doesn't want a man helping his wife, but he is giving money to his ex-wife. Exactly. Kind of like Anthony giving money to Shayla, but not to Amber, not even to give her a phone number for a marketing specialist. And now we have inner Dave. And yeah, some people say, no, Dave is this, Dave is that, blah, blah, blah. He's a praying man. Dave knows he's a praying man. Dave knows he's sinning. He knows it. And Dave also says, it looks like he wants Amber to be his wife. We don't know. That's just me talking. I don't know. But that's what it appears right now. He could be a crook for all we know, right? New skit when Anthony tells Denisha he's manifesting their future. Man, if you don't get out of your presents first, because your present is a hot mess. So thank you, Magnolia. He's manifesting their future. Anthony just is nutty. I'm sorry. Okay. And then Nature says, I just want Lisa to be found out and see if Amber will pick up on something. Where is she, by the way? Nature says, Carolyn Brown out. I see. Oh, wait a minute. I missed something. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me go back. How did I miss these? Oh, it must have jumped. Oh, you think Ben might be betting on sports games? Nature is talking to Carolyn Brown. She said it would be a good skit to see Amber and Abigail have a good conversation. She would probably share a lot to Amber about Ben because right now she is closed-mouthed about her problems in her marriage, but she wants to know everything about Amber's. And those people. And Betty says, I think Ben is betting on sports games. He might be. And losing big time. And then the rest of Nature's comment says she would probably share a lot to Amber about Ben, especially how she took a huge divorce settlement. And what's the we haven't heard anything else about remember when Danielle, no, Melissa, here I go. When Melissa went off on Ben that night and she took the pie home, her sister said, remember the plan. Remember the plan. What's the plan? Is the plan to take all the money she can get her hands on and divorce Ben again? Or divorce Ben? Is that Danielle's plan? Because she specifically told Melissa, and I need you to apologize to him. They need to keep him under the radar so he doesn't get suspicious, is what that conversation was about. So I don't know if they forgot about that part of the storyline or something going on. Betty, yeah, the games are on, and Ben is tall, so he probably played ball. And Angela Atkinson says Sonny's wearing a Jamaica blouse. Thank you, Sonny. And then let's see. Dolly says, agree, Nancy, about the friends. Nature says, yet where is Darren and Lisa? Where are they? The sisters here, but not them. Magnolia, Danielle feels entitled to Amber's life like her sister feels entitled to tell Dave what he should or should not be doing. And sadly, there are real people like this. There are real people like this. Carolyn says, true nature, that would be a good talk to Abigail. Somebody a while back said maybe if Amber knew them a little better, she would have a talk with Abigail. I don't remember, but there was a comment made. And I thought, oh, that's an interesting idea. And then let's see, Lisa. Nature says Lisa needs to pull up a chair herself and get in this circle and talk with Amber and Danielle. And that's where it seemed to be going. And then they threw us with the whole Mike deal, So Dolly says, hopefully Denisha will stand firm, saying she don't mess around with married men. Well, if Anthony keeps it up, she's going to clean Anthony's pockets because just like she told Karis to leave her alone, and he wouldn't. So she went there, and Karis ended up losing in the long run because Denisha's not afraid. She stands on what she says, and she's not going to hide. So, and she didn't hide. Magnolia, Danielle wants to know Amber's secret. Why is she so good looking while going through a divorce? When you go outside, didn't grandma say, make sure you have on clean underwear? You might end up in the hospital, I mean, and remember, Amber always gets up and gets dressed. Anthony asked her the same thing. Why are you always dressed so nice? And she said she was taught to get up and get dressed every day. And as a PK, a pastor's kid, I can see that. Hopefully, Denisha will stand firm saying she doesn't mess with married men. She could be telling the truth, Dolly, or she could just be using that as a line. She could be throwing that out as a line because women do that. They do. They'll say, I don't mess with married men. And that makes the man want them even more, right? And Carolyn says, nature, Lisa might not like Amber because Amber and Mike used to deal with each other. And also, Carolyn, Amber did tell her, and people were, they were in an uproar when Amber voiced her objection to that kind of mixed relationship. Well, people are entitled to believe what they want. Was Amber asked for that advice? No, she wasn't. She called herself, being a friend to Mike. And then what was so ironic to me is that Wayne basically told Mike the same thing. If Lisa gets caught with you, what do you think she's going to yell out? This is Wayne talking to Mike. And this is no shade on anybody in here at all, none whatsoever. Amber told Lisa why she objected and how Mike had never dated outside his race, blah, 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 blah. And Amber told her how sisters tend to feel. And what did Wayne do? He turned around and said, man, if you get caught, what do you think that woman is going to say? Do you think she's going to say, oh, yeah, I did it because I wanted to? So they both had the male perspective, female perspective about what these two people were doing, and what Amber, what she thought about Mike, because he's never done that before, and Wayne, because Wayne is telling him from a Black male perspective what could possibly happen. I mean, these were just conversations, but they were conversations that had good information. And I think that may have been for the fans. I think it may have been for the fan base. Anyway, and Carolyn says, nature, Lisa might not have liked Amber because Amber and Mike used to deal with each other. Nature says, at the restaurant, Abigail told him, even if she knew he would be there, why wouldn't she come? That was enough for me, that when she said that, she would be there where he would be. New Skit simply says, or Abby says, Mike and his brickhead giving Sonny some, so he did give her the money, giving Sonny some money. The children are resting. They have no ties to each other. We don't need no more of Sonny and Shayla mess. I know, why they're dragging Sonny into this. Is she now irrelevant because she's not like with Mike? I mean, they're just dragging. Come on. I mean, I'm sure there's some reason that she needs her or wants her as the head lady in charge, or whatever she called herself. What does she want from Sonny? Does she just want to drag Sonny through the mud about Mike? Is that what Shayla wants? Because we know Shayla doesn't do anything from her heart of goodness, if she has any goodness, except for yes, ma'am, and maybe Kai now. Let's see. Nature says Carolyn, she also doesn't want to be found out because she has been sleeping with Mike. And Nature says, Carolyn, I just want Lisa to be found out and see if Amber will pick up on anything. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? And then Himmy Girl says, Benny regrets divorcing Abigail. I think so. And going back to Danielle. Because remember that hug on when they were there, Anthony and Delicia, and that hug, and I did a short on that because the look on Ben's face when he was hugging Abigail, and I think I put Daddy's Home on there for music. I did put that. His look was priceless. Like he was holding on to that moment for dear life. And that's why I did the short, because Ben's face was like he's in heaven. And I thought, wow, okay. So, Emmy Girl, yeah, that's what I picked up from that particular skit. So that might be, you might very well be onto something. And maybe that's why he's so miserable. And then on top of that, remember he did say Abigail made him get up. Abigail had him looking good every day. Abigail had him out there on his hustle. Danielle doesn't do all that. And then Carolyn says, Piari is Anthony's college friend, always defending him because she still likes him. But I don't see her. Well, we don't see Dalen, though. Would she be defending Dalen? No, huh? Nancy B, hi, girl. Annie said he played Amber and Shayla. He did say that. Did he mean it, Nancy? Because I think he liked Shayla all along because he liked the clothes Shayla wore. Remember he told Amber to change her skirt? It was too short, and it wasn't short. And then he said, Shayla always dresses like that, so what's the big deal? So, yeah. And he said that about playing both of them. No, and he got played. He got played and stuck with a mama's baby, papa's maybe. Is how I see it. But did he play them? Maybe. He could have. He's just that conniving and calculative now that we know more about him. Carolyn says, I think so too, Hemi. He wants Abigail back. And Abby says, did they ever say why Ben and Abigail got a divorce? Because they were only married for 3 years. No, I don't remember anything. He said he wanted to go back to Danielle. Maybe it was guilt. But no, they didn't give us a reason that I know of. The pillow talks too much. He talked himself out of his wealth. Mattresses always put themselves first. Trapstar says, I told y'all Wayne was going to leave them married and have them both seeing other people. You did say that. And I'm hoping that he breaks that marriage apart. You already took a wrecking ball to it. Now what? You want to go get the Bible and say, okay, God, let all of this happen and let all these people suffer. Now he's going to fix it. I mean, even though we know the Lord can fix it, the real Lord, but are the fans going to be happy with that after all of this? If Wayne is really writing for the fans, Wayne would split this storyline. And that's just my humble opinion, because the fan bases are never going to be the same. He took them and shook them up like a Cracker Jack box and see what prize comes out. Honestly, if you ask me, it's like that To me, Trap Star, that's just like ridiculous. Yeah, like you said, this is ridiculous. Let these people go their separate ways. And if they are meant to be back together, they will get back together. But for now, what Wayne has done to the storyline, whoo, child. Dolly says, thanks for joining. Nonya says, buttercups and chatters. Let's sip on and spill some tea. And then Gigi says, I agree. Guilty people do not want to look. Bethany's marriage is falling apart, and she's still deflecting blame on everyone except herself. That's the truth. And Dolly says, agree, trap star Wayne separating the marriage makes no sense. And Anthony probably only has that theater money and the money in the accounts he put in Amber's name. Wayne already told Anthony twice that he wasn't bringing in money. And it makes me also wonder, how much money does Anthony even have now? And when you are at work, please join Nonya Monday through Fridays, 9:15 Pacific, 12:15 Eastern, 11:15 CST for Have Tea with Me at NonyasisChat. Join Nonya Monday through Friday, 7 p.m., 10 Eastern, 9 Central Time for the wind down. The wind down, we just chill out. There are usually less people, and we just like unwind. We're there for like an hour and a half, unless we're really like talking about skits or whatever we're doing in there. She'll take all of Anthony's money. Yep, she will. He's going to cry to Amber and Shayla and Piari. Angela Atkinson says, Wayne pulling apart the Dalton marriage, but Shayla walking from house to house telling women to sleep with men for money and behaving like she's the richest woman in the world. Agree. I couldn't have said it better, Angela. And simply, Abby says, y'all heard Annie saying he wanted to make a whole person, taking 50% Shayla and 50% Amber. I mean, that man is deplorable. He is. And just think, I mean, if Wayne was smart, and we know he's smart, right? If Wayne finally brought it out that that's not Anthony's child, but Wayne says he has one child that he's not sure about, but he never did a DNA. He just accepted the baby. Is that why? Is that why he's going to leave Kai as Anthony's baby? Because he has one that he's not sure about? Just saying. And but Amber never lied. Mike said he doesn't want a woman outside of his race. This is true. Hi, Nancy. How are you? Anthony once pulling up on her, and she told him no. This morning, Mary, he wants to pull up on Denisha? That man is desperate. Anthony needs to just go to the strip joint at this point. Because now he's looking real foolish. I thought yesterday was bad. Simply, Annie just had that 50% Amber and 50% Shayla doesn't want him. They both trample on his ego. Well, he did it. I mean, Angela, he's going to eventually learn to leave these women alone. You're barking up the wrong trees. He better go get somebody more his speed. He thought that perfect wife, when Amber went through that perfect wife era, was going to last forever, where he could just walk all over and step all over her. Nope. Hi, Sabrina. Welcome in. She asked to be on the podcast. Are you talking about Amber? Who asked to be on the podcast, Sabrina? I'm just asking. Are you talking about Sunny or are you talking about Amber? Because both of them were invited, to my recollection. So I'm not sure who asked to. Oh, she asked her to be on the webcast. I'm sorry, Sabrina. Because I was kind of like, what? Sabrina wouldn't be writing that. Okay, yeah. She asked her. And then I need to shape that money tree that Mike keeps getting money from. Where's Mike getting all this money? Sabrina said she asked her to be on the podcast as their expert. Yeah, she did, Sabrina. You're right. You're right. And then Abby says, exactly, that's why he even mentioned Shayla, because he got checked. He's feeling salty. That's why he thinks he love bombs Denisha. Who thinks that if Iman and Shayla don't work out, that she'll take Anthony back? Do you guys think she'll take Anthony back? When Dom going pick up? Where's Dom? What's Dom going to pick up? What's going on, Nancy? Y'all going to be telling J Diva they will not get married at all. Oh, yeah, he's going to tell him that. Tell Dom that. Probably. Gwen says, wasn't the reason Ben and Abigail got divorced because he wanted to go out a lot? I don't know, Gwen. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember that. I actually really don't remember what the reason was. Like, or even, I don't remember. Could be. And then Carolyn says, Sunny and Piari and Shayla supporters. Shayla told Sunny to get in Mike's pockets. Yes, Shayla's making the rounds, trying to get money for all her cult followers. Shayla had the nerve to call Wayne. I laughed at that because Wayne was like, why are you calling me with this nonsense? Get out of my business. Thank goodness. Dom is so desperate, Nancy says. Simply, Anthony is just desperate to be wanted. Neither his wife nor his baby mama wants him. They're full of his nonsense. They're sick of him. He thinks he could just do women any kind of way, and they're going to take him back because of his money. Money is his Skitland god. Okay, Ben and Danielle will get a divorce. Nancy says, trust the process. When I see that phrase now, I get irritated. Trust the process. That irritates me these days. I ain't trusting nobody. Oh my gosh. I'm not trusting anybody. CEO Shayla invited Sunny to join the podcast. Annie is about to lose his money. Danielle, Nancy said, Anthony wants both Kais at his house, but he can't get past Amber. Exactly. But you know what? He may very well bring Denisha in that house, and Amber will catch him. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Bring Denisha to the house and let Amber come home. Oh, yeah. That would be picture perfect. He wants Abigail. Gigi, the main lady on the podcast. Yeah, the main lady. And Carolyn says, Gigi, they're going to have a podcast because Candace hasn't done Jack. She hasn't. Where's the couch? At least a couch. Jeez. And then, unless they have Ernestine help, but Ernestine's not a designer. That's more Amanda's thing. Amanda's house always looks nice. So Gwen, just for going out, gotta be deeper than that. But you see how some men are. The thing they loved about you, they end up wanting to change about you. And that's the truth. That's what I've been yelling from my rooftop. Once you're locked in. And I did, oh God, I looked terrible that day. But I did a video and O'Neill presented it because I asked, was Darren and Anthony alike? And they are, in a way. They both married successful women because Lisa was about to become a singer and ready to hit the stage, and then Amber. And both men wanted to change their wives into housewives. And he has that video up there. I have on a white sweatshirt that's like a size 3X because I didn't think that video was going anywhere. Why did I dress like that? I don't know. I look terrible. Anyway, but yeah, I asked that same question. Exactly. And Nancy says, Anthony is going to sign the papers because of Denisha. Gigi says, Angela, that's right. Anthony is in for a rude awakening. Oh, and don't forget, Anthony has already tried to bribe Shayla about the podcast, right? So now he wants to start dating Denisha, and Shayla's going to find out about it. Now, he's already trying to bribe Shayla. Now you want to bring Denisha in the fold. Okay, and Denisha and Shayla don't like each other. Good move, Anthony. Okay, and Simply says, y'all seen Delisha? She went to a tour at a podcast launch. Oh, Candace, your days might be numbered. Delicia would have been a better person to do it, I think. Miss Fatale, good morning. If Wayne leaves these two together, everybody's going to see them both as dumb. And I agree, Miss Fatale. And that's just going to be just as flat and boring. I might have to find something else to talk about because that's boring. That every time we get ready for this huge buildup, they fall flat. Do they not know how to bring it to a peak and let it erode or explode or whatever? They always do something boring when it's time to show and shine. They don't. The writing just doesn't do it. Okay, Simply says numbered. She hasn't done anything. Okay. Carolyn Brown says that podcast better get everyone broken up and divorced. Don't waste our time if it's not going to be on. I'm sorry. If it's not going to be on and popping. Carolyn, you've been talking to me too much. I love saying on and popping or whatever. Gigi says, Carol, according to the bobblehead, Shayla. You guys crack me up. Oh my gosh. Carol says, according to the bobblehead Shayla, they have investors, but I don't think that's really going to be a podcast. Is it even going to be a question and answer, a Q&A, Gigi? At this point, like really? Is anything going to pop off in there? Lauren's about to get kidnapped, or she has gotten kidnapped by Dan, basically. I mean, what's really going on? Anthony is sassy. That's why I said Annie and Benny got married. Ben is sassy. He married Annie. And then Angelina and Wayne and Shayla together. That would be explosive. Anthony would definitely lose that fight. And right, Miss Fatale, he already made Amber look dumb, taking Shayla and Anthony back. And I think sometimes the writers get lost. I don't know if they have new writers or I don't know what it is, but they seem to get lost. And then you see spaghetti all over the walls. Like, well, how are we going to fix this, But of late, the last few days, they've been bringing it, at least bringing things back, like what Amber said this morning. Nancy B says, that doesn't mean Shayla will get $30,000. Uh-oh. Candace will get fired while in Miami. I do believe so, Artie. And then Gigi, I know people were mad at Greg for not giving her money. He gave her money. She made a bad investment. Then he gave her money to go to Italy. So what, she spent all that money in Italy? Because apparently, based on Sonny's face, he gave her a lot of money. Why is Sonny broke? I don't think Sonny's broke. I think Sonny learned a lesson from her ex-husband not to be broke. Because Sonny doesn't spend money on anything, does she? Mike's paying that rent for that townhouse she lives in, or whatever she lives in. Mike paid that up. Didn't he pay it up for a year, or said he would or something? And she didn't have to worry about it when they decorated it. Simply says, Eklund, I can't stand Sonny either. She acts like a bum, always begging for money, waiting for a handout. That's why, yeah, she's a lot like Shayla. And Eklund, I don't know if you remember last year when we did the comparison on the other channel about how Shayla and Sonny resemble each other in their ways. Because at first I didn't see it, but the more we watched them, the more I did see it. They did act a lot similar. And Gigi says, Eklund, same here. Cloudy, yeah, Cloudy. Loves to talk trash to Mike, but she keeps opening the door when he shows up. You know what I say, Gigi? Sonny likes being the side chick. That's why she's always the side chick, because she's comfortable in the side chick role. I don't think she's ready to be anybody's main woman. Delicia is the designer, and she should do it, not Candace. I agree. Simply says, I had the same thought, Nonya. I think he will bring Denisha there, and Amber needs to call her lawyer. That's going to cause him to sign or fold. Maybe that's what his plan is, to bring Denisha over there in spite of Amber, because that's why he was so nasty to Amber this morning, telling her to go back to her poor life. She wasn't poor when he met her. When he met her, she was looking for an investor for the bar. Nobody told him to spend more money than he had. Nobody told him to gamble with Phil and Shania on the stock market. And then Amber bailed him out when he was going bankrupt and losing the house, but he's calling her broke. He did that to hurt her, to make her want to leave and maybe go to wherever she's been going so he can bring Denisha over there. Now that I can see happening. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. It's 11:14. So, Gigi says, Carol, I was wondering, what does Sonny do with all her money her father gave her, just like an ex-baby daddy? Carolyn Brown says, Denisha would be a fool to go to that man's house. Nonya, that would be a very interesting skit. Yeah, showing up and Denisha's at the mansion. Oh, that would be very interesting. And then Amber and Denisha, they know each other a little bit from when Erica and Shayla got into it at the birthday party. And Denisha knows about Amber's husband having a baby with Amber's best friend, Shayla. Gigi, I just noticed you called Sonny Cloudy. Dolly, you don't remember that? Wayne called her that because Melissa, when he met Melissa, she was so sunshiny. You know how she had that big, pretty smile? And he called Sonny Cloudy because there's always a cloud hanging over Sonny. So that comparison was between Melissa and Sonny. And Melissa should have been Sonny, and Sonny should have been Cloudy. That's where that comes from. And let's see, simply, yes, someone else thinks that he thinks like me. I'm not a Sunny fan either from the first time she came on the skits. Me either. Me either. Carolyn Wayne stopped in because all these girls do is have podcast meetings about silly things. Delicia should have designed the set, up room, and the podcast. It takes one meeting to talk about the topics. And then also, what bothers me, if they want to have a real podcast, why are they not? Where's their green room for people who wait? Normally, with a podcast or a studio, whatever it is, there's like green carpet, and that's just the signal that that's the waiting room. Do I have any? Hi, Stephanie Martin. Okay, I'm going to read these, and it looks like the moderators are leaving. Moderators, I do need to talk to you about a meeting, so I will try to catch you later at wind down. But for the people who are moderators, I do want to talk to you, and if I don't get a chance, I will put somebody else in your stead. Because we do need to, we need to talk about what moderators do, except that we pretty much already know because I have talked about stuff to you. And that meeting with Sharon, just so you guys will know, is about it's about moderators. That's all. We have some of the same moderators. Okay. So, but I do have a few moderators that are not moderators for Sharon. So I wanted to share the information that I am going to present along with Sharon at her moderator meeting. And it's because some of my moderators are on Sharon's channel as well. And it's just a matter of how to handle certain problems. So that's what the moderator meeting is about. That's why Sharon came on last night. She came to say hello and to talk about the moderator meeting. So if you are here and you hear this, I do see 3 people that aren't here anymore that are moderators. One is a moderator on Sharon's channel, so I think she'll be there, but I'm not going to be saying this over and over and over. So if you hear it, you hear it. If you don't, well, you don't hear it. So I think Magnolia went to sleep. Okay. Simply said, I'm going to wrap up at 11:30, okay? 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30. Okay, I'm going to wrap up shortly. And I do see that some people have come in. Gigi says Tamara warned Denisha. She did. And Sabrina says she asked her to be on the podcast. Yes, she did. Hi, Miss T. Carolyn said Sunny and Piari and Shayla are Shayla supporters. Dom is desperate. Ben and Danielle will get a divorce. Trust the process. Yep. I agree with all that. I think these comments moved. Miss Fatal, as a new moderator, I would appreciate that. Thank you, Nonya. You're welcome. And Carolyn, we're now talking. No, we're not going to talk about it. Sharon is going to, it's going to be on Sharon's show. But because I've been a moderator so long, I don't mind talking to the moderators about the reasons for the moderators, what moderators actually do. Not all of them just say, hit the like, share, subscribe. Like Gwen will know something. She'll go out and she'll Google something just because she thinks I might need it, just like Artie does, except Artie's not a moderator. And then we have people like Angela C., we have Magnolia. They know where to find videos if I ever need a video. But we do need to set some standards for moderators. And moderators should never get into arguments with the fans or with the chatters on either channel. We don't have that problem over here. But apparently there's some stuff that's going on. And Sharon just really wanted me to explain the basics of being a moderator, because I've been a moderator here and I've been a moderator for a larger podcast on the back end. So that's what the meeting is about. No, we're not going to do it here. This will be on Friday. And Sharon and I are going to meet to make sure we know the time. It will be on Sharon's channel. I will be on Sharon's channel. It will only be about moderating. That's all it's going to be about. Okay? So if you're a moderator for me or for Sharon and you are hearing my voice, I know I didn't plan it. I'm innocent. I didn't do it. Sharon, you did it. So as far as time and everything, that's why Sharon popped on to ask me, would I like talk on the moderator show? And of course I will. I've been a moderator a long time, and that's what it's for. Hi, Miss T. Miss T says Sunny and Shayla are just alike. They are. We talked about that last year, Miss T. Yep, never could stand Sunny. And good afternoon, Nonya and chat. Artie says Wayne mentioned to Chase that he has a young lady that will be on the podcast. Wayne talked about how fine she is and tried to get Chase to agree, but Candace was standing beside Chase, so said nothing. Were they talking about Sunny or somebody else, Artie? So I'm going to wrap this up. Eklund, yes, I remember, Nonya. They are the same. I figured you remembered Eklund. And hi, Stephanie Martin is in the house. Hi, sis. How are you, Stephanie? What is Candace doing? She is truly taking her sweet time with that $60,000. Stephanie, I think she's in over her head. I mean, you and me, we can go decorate a room, right? We can go put a podcast room together. Why is that so hard? And get a podcast light, make the room look nice. I don't get it. So, but anyway, thank you, Stephanie, for dropping in. I'm going to jump off because I don't want to venture off any further. I got some things to go do, and I am going to have wind down tonight. Sometime today, I'll talk to Sharon about the moderator meeting. And again, I will be on there. We're only going to talk about moderator stuff. Okay, Carolyn, and whichever moderators are still here, I did put a message on our community board. I see that one person looked at it, so if you could just take a look at it, that would be great. I have nothing to do with the timing as far as the email that went out, but it does have to be based on a time where I'm free also. So it might be after this. I have to talk to Sharon once again because it's her meeting. It may be right after this, when we're done with the tea, and it would have to be after Sharon does her show. So it's like one or two of those time zones, one or two of those times. Okay. And that's only going to be about moderating. So that's what that's for. Angela Atkinson, that is for you as well. So I expect to see you there. Yes, ma'am. It's tomorrow. And I will post on the community board the time once I speak with Sharon. Hi, Simply Miss Nay. I don't believe Wayne will do that $30,000 stuff again. He said to Joseph something about his wallet. Wayne did all that to prove a point. Nonya, they have not had a meeting about what they're doing, what they're going to discuss. All they do is sit around and gossip. It's like, when are they going to have a real conversation? They gossip or they argue. Good afternoon, Marion. Miss T, I read your comment already. And then Shayla doesn't have enough sense. She doesn't. Dolly is here. Dolly, please attend the moderator meeting on Friday if you can, if your time allows it. Sharon will give you the time. Sharon is hosting it. I will speak at it. Okay. And Carolyn, if you can as well. Gwen, I know you're at work, so I can talk to you separately, but for the most part, you already know what's going on. You are the lead moderator on my channel, but I will still keep you posted. Gigi says Angela Atkinson cloudy was about her bag until she started dealing with Mike the snake. Okay, let's see if I have any more. And then we're going to cut out. I know people are at work. So, yeah, that, Carolyn, that's what the meeting tomorrow is going to be about. Okay? But not this one. I just wanted to say it. Trap Star, did you hear about the meeting for tomorrow? I would like, and nature. So nature, it's nature, Trap Star, and Magnolia that I know are not a part of Sharon's moderators, but she has asked me to speak, and that's what I will do because I do know how to moderate and what moderators are supposed to do. And that's what she wanted to ask me last night, and we talked about it. So right now it looks like we have 2 times. I didn't schedule this stuff, but it one time might be after this, and one time might be after Sharon is done. So I'm not sure which way she's going to go with it. I will talk to her today, so we'll find out what the time will be. Okay, but it has to do with moderator duties, and moderators aren't paid. We protect the channel. I was a moderator on the other side for like almost 2 years. Sometimes you might get a gift card or a couple of times a year, something like that. But we don't make a lot of money as creators, but we do want to make sure that we say thank you because there's a lot. And I want our channel to stay like it is. I was fending off people early this morning, like, you're not coming in here with that nonsense. So anyway, sometimes moderating is behind the scenes, or it's just making sure that the conversation keeps flowing. It's to protect the comments. I found somebody in there like Tina Young. She never comes to the chat, but she's always in the comments. She's always in my comment section. And some guy was going at her. It's like, why is he bothering Tina? Tina don't bother anybody. So I politely checked them. Yes, I did. And yeah. I think so, boo. Okay. I think so too. I think we can do this. We'll get paid. Come on, Wayne. You can pay me and Stephanie Martin. We'll take it. So anyway, I'm gonna cut out of here. I love you too. I love you, Steph, and I'm glad you popped in during the day. All right. I am going on tonight and tomorrow. I'm going to start the tea this weekend, but Miss B will be there. So, because my husband and I are going to the Harley races because he does work on Harleys, and we're going to go there. So 2 weekends I won't be around on Saturday. Sundays, I go to church and stuff, so I'm not on Sunday, but I am going to start being on Saturdays, okay? Because Angela Atkinson says she missed me. See what I do for you, Angela? So make sure you're at the meeting, okay? You're going to pay. I've been knowing Angela forever. It seems like forever. Anyway, talk to everybody later. Stephanie, it is good to see you. It's good to see Eklund. I'm glad you were here. And I'm going to cut out, let you guys go and get on with your day. Gwen, I know you're at work. Thank you so much for coming in. And that's the gist of the moderator meeting tomorrow. Okay, I'm just going to explain to you what moderators do. I mean, it's not hard. It's just paying attention. It's just paying attention to the people. They've had some really strange things happen on Sharon's platform, and we don't, whether we agree on stuff or not, that's irrelevant. There shouldn't be people asking for money. There shouldn't be people doing things they have no business. If you ever see somebody in here saying they want to do a GoFundMe, we don't do GoFundMes. We don't entertain people. We don't know. Nobody in here is going to ask for a GoFundMe. Nobody's going to ask you to send them money. Somebody does that, you can send them out. Just send them out. You can delete the comment and send them out of here because there's a lot of scamming in social media. Okay? So that's what we're going to talk about. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.